Hello. Alrighty, so I've been wanting to do this for a while, so I'm super proud of myself I'm actually doing it. I am going to be reading a passage from this book. I might have to stop to wipe up the sweat off my face occasionally. It is hella hot today. I'm reading A New Earth, Awaken to Your Life Purpose by Eckhart Tolle. Some of you must be thinking, girl, that book's old. Oprah's already done this. But for those of you that were like 12 years old when that episode came out, and since then you've actually developed the frontal cortex and maybe might be searching for your purpose, wanting to become more spiritually enlightened, I'm here for this. Okay, let's go. Okay, so it took me a little bit to figure out what I wanted to read, because to jump into an Eckhart Tolle book and just pick a passage, it's kind of like, these people might need some backstory. It may not make sense, but the core of the ego, chapter 3, is where I want to start. Eckhart Tolle also has another book. It's called The Power of Now, and I read this like 2 years ago, and it changed my life. I would have been 24? I think it was 24 when I read it. And the reason it changed my life is because I never knew that that voice inside your mind isn't actually you. I never differentiated what was going on in my head with not being real or not even being me, if that makes sense. And also, this is something that takes practice, and it's not like you can just snap your fingers and be like, I'm 100% going to be aware of my ego from now on. At least it didn't work that way for me. It's still something I consistently have to work on and remind myself of. It's a practice, if you will. So, most people are so completely identified with the voice in the head, the incessant stream of involuntary and compulsive thinking, and the emotions that accompany it, that we may describe them as being possessed by their mind. As long as you are completely unaware of this, you take the thinker to be who you are. This is the egoic mind. We call it egoic because there is a sense of self, of I, ego. In every thought, every memory, every interpretation, opinion, viewpoint, reaction, emotion, this is unconsciousness. Spiritually speaking, your thinking, the content of your mind, is of course conditioned by the past, your upbringing, culture, family background, and so on. This is why it's so important to understand different people's perspectives and be non-judgmental, because no two people are the same. No two people were raised the same, have the same background, same culture. There may be similarities, but no one is the same. And that's why when you start to be aware of your ego, you just have to be as loving as possible and as patient as possible, because everybody is going through their own thoughts based upon their upbringing and based upon what they know thus far. And that's why it's important to be understanding and also realize that we're humans. We're always evolving. Things are always changing. So opinions are always changing. New information is always coming out. So essentially what I'm trying to say in this video is just be aware that the thoughts in your mind, it's not as black and white as that is who you are. You are not your thoughts.